Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane at my side, at my left and right hand. And welcome to all our regular listeners and to the 4 new ones who will probably not get to the end of this link.
So what?
Can I start by saying my lips are really sore?
Are they, darling? Do you want some lip gloss?
I tell you what, will that help?
Oh,
Do you want
yeah.
a balm? Is there a balm?
That's what I need, a soothing balm.
Is there a balm in the building?
What do you do with the L in balm?
Well, I just say balm.
Okay.
But I can't say almond. I have to say almond.
I
but
bet
some
you
people do, don't
balm pot, didn't you?
they? Balm pot.
Don't you call people a balm pot? That's what I need. I need a balm pot for some balm. Anyway, hold on, I forgot my admin.
Okay, go on.
You can
yeah.
text us on 81215 or follow us on Twitter at Frank on Absolute, like with David Cameron and Ashley Cole. That's the kind of company you've put me in. Very
Don't look
much.
at me. I've not done it.
And this morning's texting is, what should this morning's texting be? So if anyone's got any good ideas, we'll...
Slightly low energy start to the show.
No, I don't know. I think that's great. I think you'd say our listenership is a hotbed of ideas.
Oh, yeah.
We have had an email in, Frank. Would you like to hear that?
Whoa, an email. That's a bit archaic. What are we going to get next? A Xerox?
Well, we had a telex in as well. Which
Oh.
Absolute Radio still have a telex machine, just in case. This is from Rob, who served you at... I don't mean he's an angry ex-partner. You didn't get papers. But he served you in a waiting capacity at Calcott Manor. Does that ring any bells?
Calcott Manor was where I had a short break recently. Remember when I went away for a bit?
Yeah,
You had a
Took the baby.
mini break. You didn't sleep much, I seem to recall.
No, I didn't sleep.
Hello, Frank. I just wanted to send you a message to say I love listening to your show. And I was also working at Calcott Manor when you stayed, and it was a great pleasure to meet and serve you.
How lovely.
I served you the bumbleberry juice that you didn't
Hold on, my tea's just gone down the wrong way.
that you didn't order.
Bumbleberry juice. Oh, yeah.
The English waiter in the Gumstool Inn is me. Take care, Rob.
So he's got 2 jobs.
It's always tricky, isn't it, when someone comes over and puts something on your table and it's not, you haven't ordered it. I always think, it happened to me in Wagamama recently with some prawny things, and I thought we could eat these.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
did-
combat would they have? They
Yeah.
couldn't charge you.
It's like money coming out of the cash machine, isn't it, that you see every now and again
Yeah.
in the paper. You've just got to have it, haven't you?
Did you eat them then?
No, I ain't got the nerve.
Oh, Frank,
At
you're
the
so
end of the day,
rule-bound.
I'd never have been a master criminal. But
And were you the same with the bumbleberry juice? Did you bottle it?
I didn't know what it... I didn't bottle it. No,
Thanks very much, thanks. Smuggled it in.
I thought it
Alan.
sounded like it might contain bee venom. which
Bumbleberry
happens.
juice.
What
It does
is
sound
bumble-
fictional.
Is it a real thing, bumbleberry?
It sounds
don't
like
know.
something that they'd have in Harry Potter, wouldn't it? Like
That's something,
Dumbledore had a bumbleberry juice, and
Yeah, well, there'd be a
Cast a spell
Professor
on.
Bumbleberry, wouldn't there?
yeah, probably.
I think it sounds a bit dodgy. Anyway, that's from Rob.
That's nice that it was a pleasure to meet and serve me, though. How lovely.
That is, yeah.
Someone, a nurse said to me yesterday that it was a privilege to give me a flu jab.
Privilege.
I had to have a flu jab now, because at my age it's a killer. It is. I'm at that age now where I could be one of the statistics that go down.
Oh,
if
don't,
it's-
Frank, will you make sure you keep the heating up? I worry about you.
Yeah, I'm doing
More
my best,
heating.
but it's a constant fight against my girlfriend, who's sort of she's like Mr. Manhattan from The Watchmen. She seems to be
Have you
constantly
got
hot.
one of those little alarms so if something happens, though? You can always call.
You got a
You know
call.
help is on its way.
Oh, my buzzer.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
yeah.
buzzer.
I've got that round my neck now. in case I have one of my falls. Yeah. She said a very interesting thing to me this week. I'll tell you after this.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
My baby's 5 months old now, and he's on the verge of crawling.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Excellent.
And And so you have to change your house around. Everything in your house has to go like 3 feet, at least 3 feet off the ground. Otherwise, you'll eat a CD or something of that nature.
I saw him making a move for my bag the other day.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm training him up in a sort of Fagin-esque style. But Kath was talking about it, and she said, yeah, it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be like keeping an ant. Which is a description I've never heard of the crawling child, but I liked it. I'm gonna stick with that as my image for that period. I tell you what it is.
What?
I had a whole tube yesterday of salt and vinegar Pringles.
Are we back to the chappy lips?
It's actually, it's like it's blistered my lips. You know what I mean? It's like eating radioactive isotopes. The
Can I
salt
say
and
this
vinegar
is a very good first world problem? It's very diamond shoes are on too tight.
Surely do we not send Pringles to Africa? I can't believe that.
I think that would exacerbate the thirst problem.
Oh, yeah. Actually, it wouldn't be right to send them the salt and vinegar. The salt and vinegar, I think, are actually a health and safety hazard. It's my lips
I don't recall
today.
a Pringle ever touching my lips. I'm right in the whole thing. They only touch teeth and throat.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you're like you're like my car CD player.
I'm like one of those
You just
people
hold your
that,
mouth in a sort of slit that they slowly
goes
go.
I'm like one of those
straight in.
tribesmen that Sting used to hang
Yeah.
about with.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Just with a little tray of Pringles in the
Yeah,
front.
they could play table tennis and the piano accordion at the same time.
I know what you mean, Frank. Though they can be quite astringent.
What, those tribesmen? I agree.
No.
I think that's why you stopped hanging around with them and moved across to, what's her name? Who's Mrs. Sting?
Oh, Trudy Styler.
Trudy Styler, yeah.
Yeah.
Met her once. Oh, she was gaunt.
Oh, was she?
Oh,
Was she John Gaunt?
she was post-gaunt, I tell you.
Frank, I don't know if you've noticed, but David Cameron, being what I call a real early adopter, has decided to get on the old Twitter bandwagon.
Yes. Isn't that cute to get off it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read about this.
Yeah.
He sent a tweet which included the phrase "the British people," and this is this is a cross-party thing. Any politician from any party I hear use the phrase "the British people," I know in their head is following it with, in brackets, who I despise. The British people, who I despise, need to be told, and I always think that's a very bad sign, and one of his first tweets included that phrase, so that's not good.
One of his first tweets also included the phrase, had a really constructive session with police and crime commissioner candidates earlier. Someone needs to tell him that it's meant to be funny Twitter. That's what you use it for. It's not great material.
Has he done there was a picture of him with his birthday cake.
I was there.
Yeah.
Because he's had a birthday and he joined... Did he join it to sort of raise awareness of the party conference? Is that the basic PR thing that he was trying to do?
Yes, but unsurprisingly, he got quite heavily abused, I think. He should have just called himself @insult me.
So this is why I'm not on Twitter, because people, the haters, I don't want to let in the haters.
Yeah.
Well, haters gone hate.
But,
Well, they have. They really have.
He's let in the haters. But they had a picture of him, and he's been given his birthday cake, which is a chocolate caterpillar, and he's cutting it, and they're all laughing. He hasn't got a tie on. You know, when he takes his tie off, thinking this is all meant working class
I find
people
him quite
think I'm
sexy when he
one
does
thing.
that.
Really?
Oh, no. I think if you can't dress up to be the Prime Minister of England, you shouldn't have the job.
What occasion do you think is smart dress?
His wife's got jeans on in the picture. Have they been to a fancy dress party as ordinary people? What have you guys come as? Oh, we come as ordinary people. Oh, well, I'm hoping you won't let us in. I don't want to be at a party where there's ordinary people. Ah, you're David, you character. Get in, you pair. That's what happened there.
Frank, I'd like to discuss the jeans further. I'm not done yet.
Okay. Can I say she looked great in jeans?
Yeah.
Samcam. But inappropriate. I think we all know that. She should bring out her own range of corduroy trousers called camcorders.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We were discussing the Prime Minister and his and the First Lady. Do they call her the First Lady?
I think that's fair enough.
Well, if they don't, let's start that now.
Okay,
Do you know
so
what also bothers me? The whole party conference thing. I just find
The whole party conference,
you
is
know-
that what you went to this week?
No. But when they say party conference season, and you just think, well, it sort of proves that politicians are a bit weird,
Can't
because
they just call it AW like us?
autumn, winter. But nobody thinks, oh yeah, this party needs a bit more conference, do they? It's just weird. Like, it's having a talking corner for a party.
I think it's all terrible.
It's
I'm on a
I
downer.
think it's
I'm
all
on
terrible.
I'm on a bit of a downer on politics in general at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's the caterpillar cake, basically, because I know that there will have been a meeting of PR people saying, what should the birthday cake be like? And someone
What would middling
they
and
would have
like?
said, let's go for the caterpillar. And I'm trying to work out what their symbolism was with that.
Yeah,
Are they
yeah.
trying to say everything looks horrible and sticking out, but it will emerge, something beautiful will emerge from the coalition? Is that what they're trying to say? I tell you, it will not be an accident, the caterpillar cake. Somebody
No.
would have,
Think?
it'll have a... Yeah, if he'd have wanted say if they'd have got him a Hitler-themed birthday
Frank?
cake, there would have been all sorts of kerfuffle about it.
there would, yeah, I could see how that
yeah,
would happen.
I don't think anyone's ever requested that.
And
But
I can
I'd like
see-
it if they had.
I could see how, as a PR
John
exercise,
Terry
they thought caterpillar would be less incendiary.
A John Terry cake would have caused all sorts of trouble. There's all sorts of... We'll leave it there, the list of cakes that could have caused trouble, we'll leave there.
Yeah.
But the caterpillar...
Stalin cake.
The caterpillar, there's someone will have said, if we have a caterpillar, it sort of suggests that we are... that's what it'll...
Grow.
There's a chrysalis vibe. I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
Frank. I do think, though, to the more important matter of the day, the indigo gene,
Yes.
the skinny gene that Samcam went for.
But she was a bit less smart than him, wasn't she?
She was.
Wasn't he in the suit and she was in jeans? Was
He
it that
looked rather
way?
fetching.
They were going to the Andrew Marr show where you've got to wear your jeans pretty tight round the waistband because he's a... he is a lucky dipper if you're not careful. You don't want to be on your way to the conference and David's saying, what's that dragging noise? Oh, sorry, I think Alan... Andrew's still got his hands stuck. I've been dragging him for the last mile and a half.
See, I think she might have said, is this fine? And he might have done that thing of going, wear whatever you want,
Yes.
wear whatever
Yeah.
you want. And she's gone, are you sure this is fine? Because you look a lot smarter than me. And he's gone, anything
You
goes,
can see a bit panicky in the hotel suite. Straighteners are everywhere. He just
Yeah,
wants to
yeah.
get out. He wants out.
Because we had a thing
He's on the
last
phone
week.
saying,
Yeah.
Caterpillar will be fine. We're busy.
Lose the John Terry kid, go Caterpillar. Yeah, wear whatever you want.
And she's spraying too much perfume, so the whole room stinks of it.
Right,
Yeah, and I imagine he's a bit chilly and he's knotting a pastel shade sweater around his shoulders, ready to go out. Or we might have to put the roof up.
Because we went to a friend's 50th last week,
Oh,
and
yeah.
my wife said it's dressed to impress. I've bought a frock, and I went, are you sure it's dressed to impress? Because his wife is bubbly, and bubbly people cannot be trusted.
Does that mean she's overweight?
No,
Oh,
she's just
okay.
bubbly. And she said, no, she definitely said it's
Jolly.
dressed to impress. And I went, she's a bubbly person. That could mean be there or be square. We're having a party, dressed to impress. Turned up, only people that are dressed to impress. Everyone else is in jeans and a shirt. She's got a new frock on and I've got a
Sorry,
suit on.
What happens in life when you don't dress to impress? I do that every morning.
Dressed to non-impress.
Yeah, that's not a dress code. That's life.
Well, I think it should be a dress code. But
Well,
we looked awesome, don't get me wrong, but we...
My
looked like-
girlfriend's adopted the dress to express,
Frank said the other night.
which involves a bra with a trap door. Like normally, I would have only seen in some sort of exotic lingerie shop.
Frank referred to it the other night. He said, "Oh yeah, Kathy's dressed as what was it, Les Miserables chic?" He called it the other
But
night.
the thing is, you just get sick. You get so much sick on you. In the end, you just wear like a tracksuit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
overalls.
Well, she still looks hot.
Parenting overalls.
Exactly.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
On the subject of Samcam's skinny jeans, I now slightly overlap with Samcam on the Venn diagram.
You slightly overlap them jeans you're wearing.
I've been given some freebie jeans. And,
Alan in freebie shop.
freebie jeans, yeah. And they're a bit skinnier than my normal
They are
ones.
quite.
I thought they are
not
quite
really-
snug, Frank. I would
They're a
say.
very modern comedian thing to wear, those skinny jeans.
That's one of the things that puts me off them.
Are you going to grow hair like a chrysanthemum, which is the other look?
And have a low slash V t-shirt.
No, I haven't got the physique to carry that off, but I think I can carry off the jeans just about.
I think they look good.
Yeah, they look snog.
They're almost circus performer snug.
But you've got
no, they're not.
You've got 2 kids already, so no real harm can be done.
Well,
I like to be cradled, not grasped.
Oh God, Frank.
well, the good thing about them is that they're a bit skinny at the bottom, but not at the top, because they're actually they're a new range. They're Levi's Commuter, so they're for people that cycle.
I hate them instantly.
Really?
I don't like commuter.
Yeah, they're.
Puts me off.
I'm anti-Semitic. I don't like Levi's.
But
that's a joke. Don't just take that out in isolation.
No.
Oh, yeah,
I do
that'd
like
be
the sound of
awkward,
them.
wouldn't it?
They look nice.
They've got a little bit of they've got a little bit of waterproofing to them, and they're a little bit stretchy as well.
You're not wearing stretchy jeans.
They're stretchy. They've got a stretch in them.
Are they for men?
Alan,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
wearing a jegging?
And even more mind blowing, when you turn them up, the turn ups have got a little bit of the UV reflector thing for when you're pedalling, so people can see you.
Blimey, O'Reilly.
What will they think of next? It's mind blowing, isn't it?
Well, I'm taken aback by that. I'd say my problem with the skinny jean generally is that obviously when you're following a leg down, then the foot suddenly comes out of nowhere. I know you're anti-boot cut, but one thing about the boot cut, it generally introduces the idea that there's going to be a 90-degree angle coming up. You know what I mean? It
gives you a
so
slope.
sudden.
Yeah.
Whereas with the skinny jeans, it's straight. Whoa! There's a
Yeah.
foot. There's no. It's too abrupt.
There's no warning. I know what you mean, Frank.
Yeah. It's
I know what you mean.
like an elephant. An elephant. No, an elephant doesn't have the. Elephant's legs just go straight down, so you don't.
boot cut.
Yeah, you're not surprised by the. Foot. It's a disadvantage. I don't know if you've been to Africa, but you see a lot of ankle bracelets in the dirt that have just slipped straight off them because there's nothing for them to hang on at all.
No purchase.
Yeah, they're a hazard. Elephant ankle bracelets. It's like those, those plastic things.
I was
they used
saying
to
that
put
only
on.
the other day.
You need to put those plastic straps on newspapers, and sometimes you'd step on them and step in them and fall over.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. Poor old Africans. They're all over the place. And they're also rubbish at keeping up the elephants for the same reason.
Yeah.
So glad you said
And
that.
also, they can't do sit-ups because they can't hook their feet under anything to sort of-
Well, they could.
I think it might be time for Email Corner. Email Corner. What do we got?
We've got one addressed.
What do you got?
All one word. Hi, Frank, Alan, Emily. Yeah. Emily might be interested to know that there was a J. Frank Skinner who died in Augusta, Georgia.
That's my number plate. J. Frank Skinner.
Is it?
I couldn't just get Frank Skinner. I tried everywhere.
Was it cheaper?
So,
J. Frank Skinner.
Yeah, J. Frank Skinner.
Knock a couple of quid off. Why not?
The S is like a 5, but I've put like the screw in the number plate in it so it looks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's so cheap.
Emily might be interested to know that there was a J. Frank Skinner who died in Augusta, Georgia in 1911, who was said to be the tallest elk in the world when he died.
Oh, whoa!
7'4". That is all. Glen in Kinver.
Kimber?
Oh, I like that I'd be specifically interested to
Yeah, I
know,
like
as
that.
opposed to anyone else on the
That's
show.
For your
Very
information, Glenn, I'm pathologically uninterested in this. I don't know.
I find this fascinating. I don't understand it. Why
No.
would an elk be called J. Frank Skinner?
Why did he have a name?
Didn't seem, and also a name that's—it's not just a human name, but it's quite a formal.
Yeah,
It's quite just sort of. I think J. Frank Skinner sounds like a circus owner.
Yeah.
I would say definitely.
But you couldn't have an elk owning
No.
a circus. Wouldn't make any sense.
No,
I
but-
suppose if a human being can be called Elkie Brooks,
Exactly.
they're allowed some payback.
It makes less sense that he has a name. All in all, quite a confusing.
Can you imagine that in the Yukon? This Brooks a bit elky. Did you leave the gate open again? So,
Moving on to email 2. Dear Frank,
I
Emily.
really want to look up now J. Frank Skinner, but obviously I might see some terrible reviews.
Oh, yeah.
So I
yourself.
can't.
Or some praise that,
No, I
you don't want to be distracted
don't
by
really want to
either.
see that either, but I would like to. I can't get to the bottom of this tall L with a human name.
There's too many new concepts to take on board.
Something
I
wrong.
can't cope.
There's something wrong there, and I'm not happy with it.
Maybe if you did a very specific Google search of
No,
like
but
J.
it's
Frank Skinner,
just-
tallest elk.
It just doesn't lock together.
Who's this strange character down the pit?
I don't know.
Dear Frank, Emily and Alan. Sorry, I've just realised he's described. He says your live music section of the show, as opposed to live. Your live music section of the show reminded me of the song I like to sing to every time I get into our car after my wife has used it.
Oh, I'll tell you what he means. He means that songs that you sing in your life. Like every time every time I take money out the cash point,
Yeah.
I sing Brass in Pocket.
I thought he was saying live and had spelt it wrongly in a Scandinavian type way.
Did come up again a few weeks ago because of how much is that dog in the window.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Correct.
My wife is somewhat shorter than I am, whereas I am far more Cochrane-esque in stature. This means that not only do I crack my knees on the wheel as I squeeze in, but for some reason the sun visor is always left out at a 45-degree angle for me to hit my head on.
I bet there's a mirror. I bet there's a mirror involved in the sun visor.
Dare I say, it's almost as if she does it on purpose. This leads me to sing to the tune of Boogie Nights, Booby Trap. Regards, 716. P.S. If Emily ever fancies a game of chess.
Oh, yes, of course. There used to be a footballer called Papan. Do you remember him, Alan? I used to watch, if ever I watched football with him, when I lived with David Baddiel, we'd watch it, and every time the commentator said Papan, I would stand up, look through the window and say, that'll be my car. But I couldn't not do it. It's like something terrible would happen to me.
See, I love this Boogie Nights guide because
I
in this one email, this man has touched on two things that I've got failed stand-up about, which is getting into the car when a small person, and it just got nothing. It's obviously too niche. He is my target audience. And also chess.
Email him.
I've occasionally tried chess-based humour on the comedy circuit.
That sounds good.
Epic fail, let's just say.
Well, maybe you should run it by us so we can workshop it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm off. I always think with the sun visor, if I pull the sun visor down in a car, I feel I've failed.
Do
Really?
you?
Yeah.
What, you'd prefer to squint?
I
Do
will
you?
brazen it out to the point where I'm getting a blinding headache and I can only see red for the bottom 40% of my vision.
No.
But no, I just think, oh no, it's
I
like
get-
only losers pull the sun
If
visor
I'm driving
down.
and a passenger pulls it down, I get insulted. I think it's rude.
The sun visor?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yes. I thought Andrew would come in again.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We're still in email corner.
Are we? Oh, well, in that case, I shall read aloud another email.
Reading aloud, I love that.
Good morning, Frank, Alan and Emily. I'm another of your Australian podcast listeners.
All over the world.
The world tour is expanding with every email. And the reason I write is to let you know about a new TV show being advertised here in Oz. In keeping with the theme of shows which are only commissioned because of their punning title, it's called Kitchen Cabinet and involves past and present cabinet ministers being interviewed in their kitchen while they cook their signature dish. The title definitely came before the concept, I think.
Definitely, but how brilliant to
I
have
love
seen
that.
it through to that extent.
Yeah, all the best, John in Adelaide.
Oh,
Do
that
they
is-
say during kitchen cabinet, oh, in my living room? No, we don't want to see in there. Just in the kitchen, mate.
I'll tell you what, if we do a version of it, you got to think that Nigel Lawson would probably be good, wouldn't he?
What, because of
Yeah,
Nigella?
Yeah, he must
Oh,
have
the
picked
guy.
up the odd tip where she's going, hey
I've
Dad,
just had
when you...
an idiotic eureka moment.
Go on.
It's the first time I've realised that he called her Nigella because he's called Nigel.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God.
I'm so late.
Oh,
arriving
dear.
on that. Sorry, everyone.
I don't even describe that as late. That's
Do
insane.
you want us to pause the show for a minute?
That's terrible.
Just have a think about
I
it.
think you should do a series of shows. They all have to be furniture.
Yes.
So you could have one in which Saeed Jaffrey talked about how he'd lost all interest in life. It could be called Sideboard. And then there's
I
one
love
about...
the idea of pitching Saeed Jaffrey losing interest in life.
And what about a dating agency in Bedfordshire? Single beds. Here you go, there's a texting. Shows based on furniture. and what they would be. By the way, can I thank a guy called Emmeline from San Diego? Who, do you remember I was bemoaning
Is
the
that a
fact...
man or a... Oh, Emmeline.
Emmeline. I've never seen it spelled like this before.
Emmeline Hughes, I
It's
know.
a person. I don't care about their gender. They're all human beings, you know.
Oh, but if it was a
They're all
lady and
God's
you
children.
said a guy, I was just...
Did I say... Well, you know, you can use the term
Yeah,
guy
that's-
generically.
Okay.
Anyway...
Like in Guys and Dolls.
Remember, yeah. Yeah. I remember, don't. The strain of it. The strain of it. You don't know what I'm going through.
I do know what you're going through.
Okay. Anyway, do you remember I was moaning about the fact that I'd got my agent to phone up and sort of begging on my manager to beg the Doctor Who people to let me have a tiny, tiny part in Doctor Who, and nothing happened. Well, Emily made a little video with me as the voice of the monster.
Oh, excellent.
It was brilliant. It was circa David Tennant. But it was, I shall keep it forever, so thank you, Emmeline in San Diego. Oh, San Diego. Say, Emmeline, what are you? Male or female? Oh, it's old blind Pete. Always sits on that chair day in, day out. Someone should tell him his dog's dead. Anyway.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Fine.
Hold on, I have to do my top of the hour thingy. Frank Skinner, Emily Dean, Alan Cochrane, 8, 12, 15. At Frank on Absolute.
Oh, well, that was worth it, wasn't it?
Well, I think they got the gist.
Going through the motions.
Didn't even say text in on 8, 12, 15. Just some numbers. People might be thinking they're listening in code.
People have been texting in on 8, 12, 15.
They sure have.
They have. We've had a text in. You know, you were talking earlier, Frank, about it was programmes.
There was an Australian show
Yeah.
called Kitchen Cabinet, and it's members of the cabinet in their kitchen, and we talked about what other items of furniture might constitute an idea for a TV show.
And we've had 546, Otter Man. A child brought up by otters grows up with special otter powers.
Oh, that's excellent. Ottoman as well. What a great choice of furniture.
And Julian in Halling, an art show in the county town of Cheshire, Chester Drawers. Like that.
Yeah.
I've only just got the drawers bit, but very good. Very fine.
We've also had 084 Cesspit, Brad talking dirty. But I'm not sure Cesspit is an actual piece of furniture.
I don't think it's furniture,
Maybe
no. I
in
think
his
it's,
house.
It's yeah. I bet it's not indoors though.
No.
It would be a very good thing though. Cesspit. There must be someone called Cess, is there, is famous?
Cess Fabregas.
Yes, Cess
Yeah.
Fabregas.
That would be a good autobiography title for him.
Explores coal mining. Yeah. Okay, so what else?
I'll tell you what else. I was told off this week, Frank.
Who would dare?
But before I was told off, I also did some telling off, so I think it was kind of karmic retribution.
This part of the story I find more believable.
Do you want to hear about me telling someone off first? I think you might prefer that.
Oh, you choose.
Well, I was on my way to an 8 a.m. hair appointment. Sometimes they open the salon for me early.
Do they?
Is that a fact? Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a fact.
Like when Alan Partridge goes around Dixon's when
How
it's closed.
dare you?
I was in a comic shop yesterday, Orbital Comics in the centre of London. I was in there at 10 o'clock. Doesn't open until 10:30, and it is like a child's dream. Just no one
It's
else.
lovely.
Really? They let you in?
I was being interviewed in there.
Oh, right.
For a job. I might as well just give in and work in a comic shop and with my other friends with black T-shirts. No, I was being interviewed about the Dandy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice, darling.
Yeah, but it was great. Being in an empty comic shop is just fantastic. It really was,
Nerd
Could
paradise.
smell them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
carry on.
Anyway, so I'm walking through London's Great Portland Street.
Oh, yes.
Very much your manner.
When my child was born.
Yes. I get my hair done there. You bring life into the world. There you go.
Nice.
Well, I'm sure you get life brought into your hair.
I do. Oh, I do.
Do you use an anti-frizz? I do.
I do sometimes, yeah.
I'm fascinated by the whole anti-frizz concept.
Oh.
Well, but in order to be used, you have to accept your frizziness, which I think a lot of people find it hard to come to terms with.
Alan, I thought, had product on his hair this morning, though he assured me it was just to do with his hat.
Yeah.
Hat hair.
Yeah.
Oh, and filth, probably. I've just not washed it yet.
Anyway, let's stick to
Anyway.
I know, I'm trying to.
Meanwhile, back at the
anyway,
story.
Suddenly, so I'm going over the zebra crossing. I hear a sound which sounded like gravel being raked. It was so loud.
Oh.
I thought, what's that? It was a man. He was releasing saliva.
Was it someone arriving at the Great Gatsby's house party? Oh,
He was
not
spitting, Frank.
Oh, not a spitter. Oh, not first thing in the morning as well when you stop
Frank,
a bit.
it was huge. It was huge.
Oh no! Did you feel some
He put a bit of-
heavy at the back of your coat?
Well, there was a bit of topspin on it, so
Oh,
it came
well, please.
very near my Miu Miu bag.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
I was
That's
furious.
unacceptable.
I went, oh, repulsive. I couldn't
you?
help. I
Did
did.
you?
You know what I get like?
Did you say filthy creep?
No, I didn't. The one opportunity I had to use my catchphrase, I just said, "Oh, repulsive," and he turned back to me. He went, "It only hit pavement." I didn't hit pavement like he was
No,
professional.
Yeah. Also, like he wasn't very good on
Yeah.
grammar.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I could see he sort of apologised, and then he realised I gave him one on my stern. And looks after I said repulsive. He went, "Sorry, love. Sorry, love."
Oh well, that's fair
Yeah.
enough.
So it's
we
fine.
all make mistakes.
Well, exactly. But I felt that was unacceptable. Then I was told off that very night when I was having dinner with my parents and some friends of theirs. They're a bit older. And I was telling an anecdote which involved some use of Category C swear words.
Oh.
Right.
And the guy, who was a bit older, turned around and he said, "Honestly, where was your daughter brought up? She's got a mouth like a sewer."
Mouth like a sewer is funny, though.
I tell you.
How awkward. That reminds me of a very fabulous documentary about... what was the name of that woman who won Big Brother? Kate
Lawler.
Lawler.
Yeah.
And there was she had a very sort of... her father I found extremely amusing in the documentary. And I remember she'd just come back from Big Brother. It was very exciting. She'd come back to the house. And the mother and the granny was in the room waiting to meet her. And he stopped. He was driving about. He's that kind of dad who drove her everywhere. And he got in and he stopped her before she went in the kitchen. And first thing, he said, go in there and apologise to your mother and your grandmother for your language. I'm Big Brother.
Frank.
I did enjoy that. We have to play some music.
I know,
in a
but
minute.
can I tell you quickly? 349. Conservative politicians climbing a volcano. Lavatory. Lavatory. David from Orpington.
Is that furniture? Well, we're into the whole what constitutes furniture debate. Actually, that'd be a good text in. What constitutes furniture? Stick around.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
But you were told
Oh
off.
yeah, so I was being told off, and it was just it's very odd being told off as an adult, which is
Yeah.
why I suddenly felt sympathy. Isn't it? Don't you think? It's not something that happens to me very often, if I'm honest.
Well, it doesn't happen to me. I mean, I rarely get told off because I'm a borderline national treasure. But I was told off twice this week by the same person.
Oh, no.
Who?
It
Kath?
was-
Domestic.
No, I don't even count Kath telling me off. That's too commonplace. Kath who says things to me like, oh, it's all right for you gallivanting off to work.
Gallivanting about.
Very good use
You
of
can't
gallivanting.
gallivant to work, can you?
I can. Go
And
on
hold
then.
So I did a show with Janet Street Porter this week.
Oh,
and
lovely.
she told me off twice. I mean, in a quite full on.
Did she?
Yeah, one because I I called Loose Women a dazzling display of uninformed opinions. And she pointed out that she was a former newspaper editor and was very informed. And I said, but you don't really count. You're on there. You're a sort of you're the black sheep of the family on.
Well handled, Frank.
Yeah, but she got quite aggressive. And then I also I suggested that she was responsible for Topless Darts. Do you remember that program?
Yeah, she was on.
No, she ran a company, a channel called Live TV.
Yeah.
But she said she'd left by the time they put on Topless Darts.
Right. So, what about the news bunny? He used to cry when atrocities happened.
But she did. She got quite. She properly told me off. There's no getting round it. I'll tell you what was interesting. We showed a clip from Topless Darts, which was topless women playing darts. And there was a time, not that long ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I watched that and thought, "Oh, lovely." And I just felt terribly embarrassed by the whole thing. I'm starting to think that I've had, George Melly said that he realised. George Melly, the jazz singer, writer, said that he suddenly realised his libido had gone. And he said he felt like he'd managed to get off a runaway horse. So I'm wondering now if that's it for me.
Okay.
That's how I'm testing it with a reaction to Topless Darts. I just wanted to run on set and put a coat round them, that kind of thing.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And I also heard myself saying that something my mother used to say, is that they'd be better off saying their prayers.
You never muttered that.
I did.
As you were playing the clip. That's funny.
So, it's... so she properly told me off, Janet, but I suppose that's what she's famous for, is being a bit spiky.
We got a telling off. Before we surrendered the allotment, gave it up, we got a little letter through the door saying, you've not really tendered your allotment enough. You get a little telling off.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known what to have made of that statement, to be honest with you.
No, mind your own business.
That's what I say.
And I occasionally want to give a telling off. I sometimes tell people off in
You strike me as a teller offer.
In the quiet coach, if someone's on their phone, I've occasionally gone over. One woman got very irate.
Oh, I'm sorry, I feel a bit sick at the thought of you doing this. What do you do?
She got really irate. I think it's partly that thing of, if you're an adult and you get told off, you're not used to it and you lash out a bit because you're embarrassed. And she went, get a life. And I went, I've got a life, but I've also got manners.
Oh!
So you won't be able to tell people off with that kind of authority now you've started wearing skinny jeans. It's like being told off by one of the Ramones.
Russell Kane, they won't listen to you.
Yeah, if you do it as Russell Kane, you have to hold your back leg up. So back leg. I have an image of Russell as a centaur.
Yeah,
but he isn't, is he?
I know what you mean.
He's still on the runaway horse.
I do think it's something to do with that back leg. I think he is the runaway horse. That he is. Russell Kane is my libido. It's as simple as that.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I've got 2 words to say to you guys.
What?
Pillar balaclava. Discuss.
No, not my particular fantasy.
Oh, really?
No.
There's an invention. Some bloke has come up with an invention called the ostrich pillow, and it basically looks like an Iron Man's, like those old deep sea diver helmet
It looks
things.
like a blue bottle head.
It looks like that, but it's actually a pillow in a sort of pull over the head type garment. It must be true. It was in the Daily Mail.
Well, not only was it in the Daily Mail, but I tried one on this week.
You did
no
not.
way.
I did.
Shut up.
I did. I had to. There's no hole for the mouth.
What happened?
It's quite snug, but I've got, as you know, I've got quite a big head.
It's a sort of tracksuit fabric, isn't it?
Is
Very
it?
mild.
No, I'll tell you what it is. To my surprise, I thought it was going to be foam, but it had a bit of beanbag.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does that make it slightly heavier, though, for the traveller?
It's a bit heavy, but the whole idea is that, if you're on a train and you think, I feel tired, and you lean your head against the window, say, and it's that hard surface, it's to avoid all that. So you
know
can
what?
And
put
to
it on.
avoid anyone ever wanting to take you out on a date, presumably as well, because it's the most loathsome
Well, it's got
sartorial item I've ever seen.
it's got holes in the sides, so you can put your hand. You know, when you put your hands behind the back of your head and
Yeah.
lean back, so you can do that. And
oh,
also,
so that's attractive.
and also you can just sleep face down on the table,
Yeah.
and it's nice and soft.
I
thought
like
it
the
was
idea.
great.
Did you?
I would like one. There's
But
many
you know I'm
times in my
phobic
life.
about sleeping in public places.
No.
In front of other people.
That's probably not a bad phobia.
I
to
remember
have.
being on the train with Daisy, our producer, beautiful girl, everything to live for. Suddenly, in the middle of a conversation,
Oh, a lovely summary that was.
she says, "Oh, I'm just going to go to sleep now." Puts her head on the table, her arms all splayed out. I was so sickened.
We used to do that at school. They used to say, like, at 2:30 in the afternoon, they'd say, like, sleep time now, and we just put our heads on the desk. And,
Animals.
yeah, and I can remember I used to go to sleep. And it's only been like 15 minutes, just ignore sleep time, best go to sleep. So, you know,
Wow.
so just sleep out. Life was so simple then.
You just did as you were told.
Yeah,
That's
well,
how
of course-
fascism rose.
Of course, when you drew back, you had, like, the graffiti of the last 30 years imprinted on your
I think it's like going to the bathroom in public. It's up there with that, as far as I'm
Sleeping
concerned.
in public?
I think it's disgusting.
I haven't really done it since I stopped drinking. When I used to do it quite a lot, I lost all sense of what was public and what was private.
Yeah, that
Didn't
could
seem-
happen.
didn't
The
seem to
line
matter.
blurs.
But I tell you what, speaking of my drinking days, I could have done with the old ostrich pillow then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as if I wasn't ostracised enough. Eh? I used to. Did you ever? You must have done this thing, Alan, when you get a bit drunk. Is you attend the urinal, and you just lean your head against the wall.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
It's not a proud moment in a
No.
man's
What do you
life.
mean?
For support.
Oh, God.
So you sort of lean your head on the wall, and then you've got your what they call, I believe, in the phone world, a hands free.
Yes.
And this hat is perfect for that. It's
That would be a lovely sight. if
you
someone
didn't wear it the
walked in.
whole night, but come about 9 o'clock when it starts to really seep in, the drink. Then you can put that on. Also, if you fall over on the way home,
Yeah.
No
it's
head down.
covered.
I
But
just
the
wish they'd
big
have
problem with this is that it's dark in there, so you would literally be blind drunk. That's a problem with wearing the hat from
you
9
can
p.m.
see,
onwards.
but you can see out
Oh,
of it.
can you?
What?
There's an eye hole. Yeah, there's an
What?
eye
Oh, like
and
a
nose.
spy hole?
Yeah, so there's like a hole at the front and 2 holes at the side is the way it
Like
works.
with flies, with
Oh.
that gauze thing.
Well, hence
What?
the balaclava title.
Why would there be an eye hole, though?
Because so you can see.
But you don't want to see. Look, you're meant to be going to sleep. It's
You
not-
could pull it down, I suppose, for sleeping purposes.
All I would say is sans eye holes. All I would say is, couldn't they have gone for a slightly more affluent fabric?
Well, I
It's
quite like-
disgusting.
so
What
it's-
about leather? That would be nice, or silk.
Oh, no, you
kinky.
don't.
Leather?
leather.
Lovely.
I couldn't help thinking when I tried it on that Brian May would look at it and say, well, what do they mean it's difficult to sleep on a hard surface? What are you talking about?
I'd like
good
one.
old Brian May.
If they can condense it so that you could travel with it and have it like small in a suitcase or a bag, I'd be in for one of those.
I think he just puts a hat on.
No, like Brian May.
Oh.
I mean this pillow thing.
What about May Day? You know May Day, which is a particularly windy day in
Oh,
May.
was that his autobiography?
No, it's that day when all the spores blow off Brian May and land in people's gardens.
Yeah.
And then a couple of months later, you get flamboyant guitarists growing in the cracks between your garden slabs. You're not aware of that phenomenon?
No, it's the first I've heard of it.
Oh, I hate Queen.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had some texts in on 81215 regarding furniture programmes.
Ah, yes.
At Pun. Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, Welsh Dresser, a programme in which Tom Jones adopts a Gokwan-esque role and comes to the aid of people with wardrobe insufficiencies.
Can you imagine what that would be
The
like?
first episode being Tom Jones himself.
He's too big, though. He's too big for clothes. He's one of those people.
Oh, really? They're struggling to get...
Yes,
It
I would
does.
agree with that. That's from Sid on the Isle of Wight.
He does.
Incidentally.
Some people look, and they're not necessarily the massively biggest people, but some people just look that they shouldn't be clothed at all.
He should be allowed to roam free.
Like
I think you're
Tarzan.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a theory that he is really a bear.
Is that a euphemism? Is that code?
No, not one of
He's a
those
real
bears.
bear.
I mean, like a real bear. My theory was, which I think I have mentioned on the show before, but is that, when he says, think a bit of dance now,
Yes.
it looks to me like someone has sedated a bear and then put it in human clothes. And then it's the dance looks like the bear trying to get out of that outfit.
Frank, we've also, someone's tweeted us, someone called Twemlow, says, Ottoman Empire. Emily goes around the world collecting Ottomans and in the last programme piles them up and burns them, which I think is rather marvellous.
Oh,
Excellent.
fabulous, multi-pun.
Excellent pun, but I dislike the idea because we have an Ottoman and it was rather expensive. I don't want it burned.
Can I own up? I can't now remember exactly what... Is it like a small wardrobe?
It's like a footstool, basically.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
nothing like...
Like a love seat.
it's a footstool.
I call it a love seat.
Well, it's a different thing, a footstool and a love seat. What
Not
would
in-
what
not
would
in
you
my
call
house.
What would you call a poof?
We're now
about
going to
that?
get about 400 texts saying, an Ottoman's not a footstool, it's this. You know,
You
when
could
you
just
get
have-
some
I would
moment.
describe an Ottoman as a sort of chaise longue.
Could one of these
No.
shows be four poofs and a piano? It just is furniture.
Oh, no, Alan, you're right. An Ottoman is a perf. Yes, it is. Anyway.
Okay.
I like the surprise in, oh no, Alan, you're right. And you were discussing about how you'd like the balaclava pillow for leaning against the urinal. We've had a text in from someone, let me just find it. Oh, it's moved.
Oh, I love these bits.
Infuriating. Frank, re the head against the wall on the urinal. Do you ever do the Hitler, where one hand is raised to the wall for extra support?
Oh, yes, I have done that in the past.
Yeah, back in the day.
Didn't David Cameron have a cake that was based on Hitler at the urinal?
Chinese
Birthday cake.
whispers.
That one didn't get out. I think that photo didn't make it.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
To take us back to email corner, if that's okay with you.
Oh, I can't reach the jingle.
Oh, that's okay.
Email corner.
You went a bit more old jaded then.
It's all right.
Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, I work for an architecture practice in Fulham. Oh, right up my Strasser. And a few of us here listen to your podcast every week. We couldn't help but notice when you were discussing your favourite Bonds last week, you missed out a hotly debated topic in our office, the best Bond theme tunes. I'm a Live and Let Die fan personally. Can you please help us settle this argument? Ben in Fulham. P.S. Whilst I've recently moved in with my girlfriend, I do feel that my chances of getting this message read out are deeply reduced if I do not attempt some form of night's move. As such, if the lovely Emily ever fancies a night out in West London, tell her to get in touch and we'll take her out to Bunga Bunga. Google it.
I think if you Google Bonga Bonga, you'll get Silvio Berlusconi.
Yeah.
Which he's disappeared quick. Well, I would go personally. It doesn't have any words though. My one, mine is
What?
on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh, classic.
Oh,
As part
You
of my
sing that all the time, Frank.
yes, I love it so much. But as part of my new whistling diet, I'm bringing out the whistling diet book. 12 calories. Right there. Right there.
Wow, that's good,
Oh.
isn't it?
You see, Live and Let Die, I like it, but I could do without the Caribbean theme bar bit in the middle. I don't like that.
What was it?
Oh, makes me feel ill, that. That's my worst bit.
I don't mind that.
I'm a bit of a Nobody Does It Better fan.
Yeah,
I
that
have to
is
say.
good. That
yeah,
is
Carly
good.
Simon, that's one of my favourites, Frank.
Right,
I also like
Spy Who Loved Me, that is, isn't it?
is it?
Man with a Golden Gun. I love
Yeah.
Lulu.
Oh, is that Lulu?
He's got a powerful weapon. He
Oh,
charges
God.
$1 million a shot. I won't keep going.
Where does the cockerel stand on this?
I'm with the with the chap that's emailed in. I like Live and Let Die. It's got it's
I'm
got
not
a
saying I
bigness
don't like
that
it.
you
We're
want.
talking about our favourite.
Yeah, well, all right, that's my favourite.
You know when the
You strike me
space.
as a for your eyes only type.
You know when
Gina
the big
Reeson.
when the big spaceship eats the little spaceship.
That's Pac-Man. What's it?
Is it Moonraker where the big space?
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you get the music that's playing when that's happening is absolutely fabulous.
Which one did A-ha do? I never trusted Morton
The Living
Harkett.
Daylights. Living
Never
Daylights.
trusted Morton
No.
Harkett. Too
I,
thin-lipped.
I was phoned by Lulu once
Were you?
because I went to an audience with Lulu and I dressed up as Lulu in the 60s. I mean, I was asked to. It wasn't. I didn't
I
just do
see,
it.
yeah.
And I went on stage as her in the 60s, and she laughed. And then so
Work with them all.
she phoned me up, Lulu, to thank me for being Lulu, for being her younger self.
Yeah.
And the phone went. She said, "Is that Frank?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "Oh, it's Lulu." And I said, "All right, Lulu, how lovely of you to call." She said, "Frank, thank you so much. I just wanted to say, so kind of you to perform as me at my. I mean, it was so." And then I heard in the background, and she went. "I'm on the phone!" In the most sort of aggressive Glasgow, knock your head off your shoulders voice. Then, "Sorry, Frank, I was just saying." It was lovely. I felt for a second I had a glimpse of the real Lulu. And how many of us can say that? I think 7 was what the research showed on it.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Well, who are you, you're asking? Well, I'm Frank Skinner, and this is my team, who I call
Get on name.
Emily Dean and Alun Cochrane. That's what I call
So
them.
forgot our
Your
names.
team.
I didn't forget your names, I just forgot some words.
Zoo Radio. Here's my posse, guys.
Some basic words is what I forgot. It's been
Wow.
a very stressful day.
I've got Wacky Alan.
Why is it stressful?
It's stressful because there's an elephant in the room, which means that us three we've had to squeeze in to
Yeah.
the...
I think we're all looking well. I don't think that's fair.
No.
Okay.
Let's get off the subject
Yeah,
that we're
okay.
not on, thank God.
Okay.
Is Frank turning into Mark Commode? Not my words, but the words of 534, who also goes on to say, with his love of On Her Majesty's Secret Service and talk of Brechtian alienation devices, both of which are oft spoken of by Commode, is a quiff in order. Over to you, Frank.
I mean, I'm not a particular fan of that movie. I just love that tune. I don't know which part Mark Commode likes. Yeah, did I mention Brechtian alienation
I
devices?
think that was a week or two ago. Yeah.
Okay, well, good on him for paying attention, though.
I was very
Yeah,
keen on
I must
remembering
admit,
Jane
it is something that haunts my. You know, if you wake up in the middle of the night, one of my things is, am I turning into Mark Commode?
Yeah. I can see
Like,
that.
am I turning into Delolio is one of mine.
Yeah.
Is it?
Or is it, have I left a mark on the commode? It's one of those two. I can't
Very
remember
good
which-
furniture pun,
Oh,
Frank.
yeah. that
I
would
was just
be a
thinking there'd be a
commode.
Mark
Yeah.
Commode pun coming now.
If there was one called, there must be a programme you could have.
Mark Commode is a horrible programme if you think about
It's
it.
a horrible, horrible programme,
Yeah.
Alan. I want no part of it.
A commode mark it could be if it was like done, if it was done like a page. The opening titles was like closing in on a phone book and it said commode mark, and then it could go from there. Could be some antiques expert saying, well, the trouble is with this commode, that mark probably takes about 10 grand off it.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah. There was a text I liked about another name for a spit as well, someone sent
Oh,
in.
yeah. Oh, it was...
I liked it.
While you find that, I'm going to...
It was
Mike
called
has...
a Docker's omelette or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
A Docker's
Ooh,
omelette.
yeah. It slightly turns my
Oh.
stomach, but it is
Sorry,
a good
everyone.
description.
It is a fine description. What?
Frank, can
who?
I just... Mike has said to us on Twitter, replace the word Skyfall with Trifle, and the Bond theme makes sense.
Try for... Oh, is it
Does
an
it?
Adele? Yeah, it's about her being...
Is it about that? I don't know, because aren't the
Yeah, on the
lyrics...
larger
The
side,
lyrics are... There's that jelly stuff on the bottom with like sponge in it.
Elvis
And
Costello
then
song.
there's custard. Then there's that white stuff
sound a bit
that's a
Elvis
bit
He always
like
sings like Elvis
custard.
Costello. It's when he wants stars in their eyes.
But it's even sweeter than custard.
See
and
what
then
I
there's
mean?
bit.
I can't hear it. I'm a trifle
He
deaf.
didn't win stars in their eyes. Oh,
Thank you.
Oh, that's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Frank, where did you come in stars in their eyes? You did. You did well though.
I was beaten by Boy George. I was beaten by Boy George.
Frank.
I was working as an escort at the time.
You think it'd have made the papers? Wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
exactly.
No.
So somebody clamped his escort. I was beaten by Boy George and someone from.
Who was playing Boy
Boggs.
George then?
You remember Boggs, that programme?
Yeah.
GS. I was
Yeah.
beaten by someone from that.
Not quite a children. It was a children's program that wasn't quite, wasn't it? Bugs, or was it an adult?
Anyway, you got
program?
the
think it was
last
an
laugh.
Anyway, yeah, you did.
Well, I don't know. I might find out that he went on to become Daniel Craig.
Well, it's funny you should mention Daniel Craig.
Well,
He,
not that funny.
He's not only James Bond, so he's on topic, but apparently he's admitted this week that when he filmed that segment with Her Majesty the Queen for the Olympic opening ceremony,
He was on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Ah,
I think you're
everyone-
fine.
Yes. and everyone was
Docker's
very
omelette.
excited by it, weren't they? Apparently, he's admitted that he was in a bit of a grump because it was actually his day off, and then he said, "The next thing, I was in the palace filming." He didn't. He
His
wasn't.
day off.
He wasn't happy about it.
Where does he work? Is he not a film star anymore?
He works as James
He
Bond.
said, we had a short space of time and I was a bit grumpy. Oh, he's turned into David Baddiel. I was a bit grumpy as it was my day off. He didn't like it.
Suddenly, I'm at the palace and with the Queen. Which I suppose, if you're in a bit of a huff, the Queen is probably the worst person to be around because she's got a life that should make her relentlessly cheery, shouldn't it?
Yeah, she doesn't look relentlessly cheery. Though.
No, but
Can I be
she ought
honest?
I
to
think
be.
she's as menaced by death as any old person.
Maybe she said
find-
to him, "One is also in a huff sometimes."
I find a grumpy sort of demeanour doesn't sit well with a blonde. I think it's I'm afraid you need to be a bit light and sunny. It's for us dark, mysterious types. We
Yeah.
can be as moody as we like. And he is very grumpy, Frank, as I'm sure your cleaner has told you.
Well, no,
My
I
ex-cleaner.
don't see my ex-cleaner anymore. If he's never been happy since he stole my cleaner, I think he's eating away at him.
Is he really grumpy? How do you know that?
No, do you know him? Have you met him?
Briefly, yeah.
Hold on, I think we'll have music and come back to this.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Craigie was talking about.
Oh, we was talking
Craigie.
about Craigie, yeah.
Daniel.
So, yeah, he struck me. I've sat near him at a dinner. Very near him.
Is he very
actually.
handsome?
Oh, the eyes on the man.
Is he
The
really
eyes
handsome?
on the man.
Good eyes, yeah.
But there is something. He's got a sad face. There's something sad about him.
Air of sadness.
Yeah, definitely air of sadness, Frank.
Him and Bobby Charlton always had that. Bobby Charlton always looks like.
He looks
All right,
like
Bobby, come here. Let's give you a hug.
he's being forced to wear those trunks and parade around, and I don't think he enjoys it.
Speaking of the
Right,
trunks thing, I read a quote from Barbara Broccoli
Oh yeah.
this week. She was talking about the opening ceremony thing. She said, I think Daniel, because obviously there's Bond stuff everywhere at the moment, she says, I think Daniel should have been in the Olympics. She said his body is, and the way he works is amazing. She said, and this is actual quote from Barbara Broccoli, you should see him in a swimsuit. I thought, do you not watch the films, Bob?
And she's
What
like,
do you mean you should see him in
she's like Woody Allen. She makes them all and then will refuse to look at them.
Yeah. But she can't have not heard of that, even if she hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a prerequisite, isn't it? If you're going to play Bond,
Barbara.
So, yeah.
you have to get your tighty whities on.
That's
Maybe
what's putting
she's-
the brakes on it for me. I wouldn't
She's
be able to
reached
play
an
Bond
age
because
now,
of that.
Barbara, so she's just a vegetable.
Frank,
Could be broccoli. Barbara Broccoli.
Broccoli!
I did
Barbara.
understand it.
Oh,
did
that's
you?
all right.
Yeah.
I admire him in a way because I think it's all right to have like a nice life and be in films and still be in a huff every now and again. Like,
Yeah, see, I'm not. I'm not totally sure. Isn't that just his look? Has he got one of those faces like some
Well, he
people have got?
admitted it. He admitted it, and I felt like a kindred spirit of his, because I was away this week in a nice hotel, clicked on the old, some hotels have got a button where you can press for Do Not Disturb rather than the old hang it on the door. Pressed Do Not Disturb, went down to do the gig, came back up, someone had been in, tidied my room, and put a chocolate on each pillow.
And wasn't that just the butler?
I was incandescent with rage.
Incandescent?
I was annoyed by that, because I thought, well, hang on, this is my space now. I've chucked my smalls around and I've got stuff scattered about. I don't want people...
Okay, I'll be fine.
It was the baggy ones. I wasn't doing sport. It was the boxer shorts. But really, when
Docker's omelette.
when I stepped back to think about it, I thought, hang on, I'm angry because somebody has come in and tidied my room and put a chocolate on the pillow.
Yes.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be putting me in a bad mood.
That's
It should
very
be in a-
diamond shoes are too tight.
Exactly,
As
yeah.
you
First
say,
world
it's-
problems, hashtag.
It's a classic first world.
Frank, this news just in. I'm calling it breaking news from
Oh,
Tanya
right.
Snuggs, our very own Snugsy.
Yeah.
Re Daniel Craig. I've interviewed him twice and he was lovely.
Oh.
Exclamation mark. Uppercase lovely. Caps.
All right,
There you go.
lovely.
Okay. Yeah, but is Tiny just reducing him to some sort of sex object?
Piece of meat.
Well, I don't
candy.
think I don't think my cleaner would hang around if he was a beast.
No.
And also,
There'd be no precedent for that.
and also, I did warm to him a bit having seen Cowboys and Aliens, which I thought was a rather fine film.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah. So
Frank, have we got time
we
to
can all get
return
grumpy.
to email corner briefly, or...
I found some hair in a cup this week. That made me very grumpy indeed.
Oh,
Oh, one of Kath's.
Yeah, cat, not one, fistful of.
Oh, I loved that Clint Eastwood film.
Oh, what a fistful of hair!
fistful of hair in a cup.
A fistful of hair. It was the German. That's what they called them sausage westerns. There were a lot of them in. I had a weird German-based dream the other night. Anyway.
Oh, I want to hear about that.
I must move on.
Okay.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Right. Did you read about these two? I'm going to call them no savouries. They're that type.
No savouries.
No savouries, as in they eat everything in sight. They were actually banned from an all-you-can-eat buffet at a restaurant.
Oh, yes.
George Dalman and Andy Miles, extraordinary-looking characters.
Well-
I worry they look like what me and Alan would look like if we ate too much.
Would you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
No, I think they look like, the sort of, the two kind of thuggish schoolboys that hang around with Draco Malfoy on the Harry Potter film.
Oh,
They
Yes.
look like them, but grown up.
Oh.
And that they've been banned from a buffet.
I have to say, I'm totally with these guys.
Are you?
Well, if it
should we
says-
explain the story? So basically, the manager said, they said every week, I think they use the word basically, which I always like in an official statement.
Yeah.
Basically, they just come in and pig out. And
They did call them pigs. Which
the restaurant is in
was a
Brighton.
bit
It's called the
strange.
Gobi restaurant in Brighton. So they were just ordering the minimum. They were having a glass of tap water and going up
No,
repeatedly.
but they were
Cheap.
going to the eat all you can.
All you can eat,
Hmm.
yeah.
The all-you-can-eat buffet, and they ate all they could eat. What have they done wrong?
Yeah, it wasn't called all you can eat brackets within reason, close brackets.
No, reason is, to me, it's a challenge.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
it's not all you want to eat, it's all you can eat. It's saying, if you leave here and you haven't got a PB,
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
best, it's been a bad day for you. So I think it's encouraging, though, a sort of Guinness Book of Records approach to dining.
No.
I think they're champions of freedom. They are the Rosa Parks for the 21st century.
Yeah.
They are.
For the diabetes community.
In fact, Britain...
Not for the fashion
in fact,
community,
Britain,
though.
they're representing us.
They're not going to attract the OMG brigade with declarations like that.
Well, they wouldn't wave the flag because it had burned too many calories.
Yeah.
I honestly think they've been very hard done to.
Do you, Frank?
I do, yeah.
But the
All
onus-
you can eat.
The owner said they're in such a hurry to beat everyone to the food, they spoil everything.
Yeah, I don't know how that... What does that mean? That, like, they're just... Their atmosphere
Yeah, I think they do.
I think they set up an air of enthusiasm at the all you can eat, which is probably infectious.
Well, they're certainly jolly. They look jolly.
They
in the
do
picture.
look jolly, which is what you want. It's in the same way that you want blondes to be cheery. And
Curvy people to be jolly.
Yeah, I think they should go to the European Court of Human Rights and fight. If they obviously have to establish that they're human, but but I think they should. I honestly think these guys are freedom fighters for our East Britain.
Freedom fighters.
They are. They've been wrong. They haven't done anything wrong. They followed the letter of the law. It's just terrible. I feel now with my little plum pot belly, I can identify with these guys.
Do you think this could go all the way to, like, court?
I think that, honestly, I'm serious.
There's quite a few
they're totally in the right.
members of Parliament. They could get behind this as well.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have called them pigs. He said you're a couple of pigs.
No, that's not... I think he's got mixed up with human beings and pigs. That's what's happened there. I think he's at...
I liked, when I saw this story...
It's a species-based error.
I like the Daily Mail comments at the end of this story. I always love them. Someone had written, management reserve the right to refuse admission. Was their comment on that story.
But I've noticed, I've been doing Room 101 of late. I do have other work. I hate to own up to that. But I've noticed there's been a lot of toupee tape going on my necktie.
Oh, you're joking.
Toupee tape, yeah. And what it is that my tie...
Is it chest level?
It started to sit on the natural ledge formed by my pot belly, like a gull on a cliffside. And it just nestles there. Or sometimes it'll give up on the belly altogether and veer off either to the left or the right.
So they stick it on?
So they stick it so it goes straight down, yeah. And I noticed...
Oh, I thought you meant it was coming off people's toupees.
No.
I wanted to know what you've been up to.
Yeah, so they stick it so that it doesn't slide off my belly.
Oh, yes, because we call that something else in the fashion industry.
What do you call that?
Well, I can't say, but it begins with...
On air.
T.
No, don't
yeah,
say.
No, I won't say. Of course I won't.
Yes,
I'm
so,
professional.
Of
Very
course.
good.
I know that.
Very, very
There's
good.
a lot I won't say.
So I can identify with these two characters is what I'm getting.
Right.
Characters.
Yeah.
I like it when you go Shaw Taylor, Frank. These characters.
These two clowns. Yeah, if it goes to court, I'm happy to step up to the plate as a character witness.
Step up to the plate.
Step up to the plate. Very good.
Obviously, I won't be able to get anywhere near it.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Can we
Yeah.
return briefly to email corner?
Can I? I've got. This is common. I got a car in this morning, and whenever I'm in a car with a with a driver like a cab or whatever, mini cab, I always need to establish at what stage they're at in their shift. Is that just me?
Yeah, no, I do that as well.
I always say, so how long you been? Are you near the end? Is this your first job or is it your last?
But you see, I do that, Frank, and it sounds like I'm shutting them up if it's end of the night. I go, am I your last job then?
Oh,
Yeah, but why do I... It's not my business whether it is. I don't know what it is. I need to know where
sometimes
I am
ask
on
them.
the scale of activity.
I sometimes ask them if they seem to be driving in a particularly sleepy way. Like every now and again, if I'm in the back, I'll just catch their eye in the rearview mirror, and if they're closing their eyes for a bit too long, then I'll say, been on for long. Like, hello.
The thing to do, I've found, is to sit very, very gently and then go, you awake? Email corner. La 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 la. Went into sort of harmony at the end.
Nice.
It's never a bad thing.
Well, if it's
Why you say that?
harmonic, yeah.
Meaning.
No.
Come on.
That's not...
Read an email, one of you.
I'll read you an email.
God, honestly.
Hi, Frank, Alun and the divine Miss Emily. I'm defined as a bookworm, doesn't say who by, and I have a specific set of rules, and I would like to know if any of you three do anything similar. 1, I can only ever read one book at a time to avoid confusion.
Definitely not.
Definitely not, and we've talked about that before.
I like a fiction and a non-fiction.
You like a non-fiction in the toilet, is that correct?
Yeah.
There's a lot. Let's face it, it's a place for truth. And I'll throw in bank holidays. I'll throw in a pop-up.
2.
Not in the toilet. I mean, as a book. Yeah.
2, I have to read a full chapter. Now he goes to caps lock.
Oh.
Never, ever stop reading halfway through. I already disagree with that. What about when you're sleeping?
I agree with that.
Oh no,
Always
I fall
make it to
asleep
the
in
end
the
of the
middle of the
chapter.
page all the time.
No, but what I do is I just make it to the end of the chapter, but I keep going. I read till I bleed. I can't. I really want to get every last bit out,
No.
so I find myself.
Do you
know,
do the
I
little
always
triangle,
remember-
Frank, at the top of the page to mark your place? I do that.
What drawing?
No, I don't draw on my books. I'm not 5. I fold over the little triangle to mark my place.
Bending the pages is better than drawing on them.
Yes.
No, I don't do that. I don't violate books. What do you think this
That's
is?
not what-
National Socialist Germany?
It's not violation.
Don't let that cake fool you. We're still living in the United Kingdom.
Go on then, what's the next point?
3, I have to understand what I'm reading, or I will read it again from where I started to misunderstand.
That's
Oh, yeah.
a very good...
It's a good
Yeah.
rule.
Oh, I'll do a whole book and not understand a damn word of it.
4, finally, I have to use my special bookmark all the way through, so that's answered your
Filthy
question.
creep. Oh, yeah, we've all heard about the special bookmark.
Oh, you say it's filthy creep. That's from Dylan Gambrel, 16, from South East London.
Dylan.
Filthy creep.
Oh, lovely. Well, I don't know, I'd like to know. Get Dylan to get in touch and tell us the nature of his special bookmark.
Yes.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We are still, I think, in email corner, but let me
yeah.
let me just stop the action for a second. 'cause
Putting the brakes on this.
I know the most boring thing in the world is people telling their dreams, so I'll be brief, but I did promise before that I was going to tell you a strange dream, so I feel I don't want to let anyone
It's
down.
going to be his problems next.
It's going to be really... just do it really quickly, it's very straightforward. I dreamt I was in Berlin, and I was there to pick up Helmut Kohl, the former Chancellor.
Yes.
Formula is like former and Chancellor, like Jedward. It's a compound
Is that
word.
Brangelina?
Yeah, so I was there to pick up Helmut Kohl, and I had to deliver him back to the television studios in London to be interviewed by Richard and Judy. And I did him. I picked up Helmut.
How retro.
He was very... I can't remember any conversation on the journey.
He wasn't a chatty man.
No. And I delivered him at the thing, and then I went home, I put the news on, and he'd shot Judy Finnegan dead on air. And then that was it. That's the dream. I don't feel any urge to discuss it. I'm just telling you that's what happened. And I woke up thinking, what does that represent about my inner life?
Oh, that's guilt,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Is it guilt?
Oh, yeah. But you were responsible for Judy Finnegan publicly being
you saying that-
assassinated.
You saying Frank was an accessory?
but I know what happened. In the dream, obviously, I felt a certain amount of guilt because I delivered the assassin. But where does it tie in with my real life?
Yeah.
If we believe that dreams are representations of our subconscious here on Absolute Radio.
You just had too much cheese. Frank,
We do. If we believe.
as we're in email corner and not dream corner...
Sorry.
Oh, I'd quite like Dream Corner. I've got one.
I did.
Anyway, well,
Dream corner. Doon, 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 doon. Judy, look out! Da ist fine. There you go. So go on. Email corner.
The bottle's going to burn. Tony says, hi, I was in Norwich recently for a funeral, staying with my cousin. I noticed that Alan was playing a gig the next night at the art centre close by.
He's everywhere.
I know. So I dragged
Get
my
around.
cousin along with a money-back guarantee if he didn't like it. The gig was really funny and really cheered us up.
Brilliant. Well done.
So
Cockerel.
nice work. We
Excellent.
also enjoyed the fact that you got through at least 5 microphones during the 90-minute performance, possibly a comedy record.
I think
Yeah.
it says on your poster, doesn't it? Your tour poster, a tonic for the bereaved. Isn't that your slogan?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
5 microphones.
Yeah, have you not seen my new act? I do loads of like really
Is it like Wanted Ultra?
high tempo physical stuff where I'm smashing the mic off my head and
Wow.
no, it was just that they were faulty.
5.
Well, 4. We went through 3, and on the 4th time he got it right. But it was quite entertaining because the sound man was at the back of the room, and he had to basically run right down past the audience, round the back of the stage, up onto the stage, try and fix it, run back the whole way.
That's terrible.
I was delighted. It took about 5 minutes off the show.
Funny he was here now.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been lovely as ever to talk to you all, and thank you for listening, those of you who did. Those of you who just had it on but didn't really tune into it. I don't mind that either, as long as that button thing you press that says you're listening to it. You know that thing that they do the radios with?
Yeah.
Doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. And we didn't mention him once. Congratulations, everyone.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.